Please help me welcome Stephan for this Pathways workshop, beginning Pathways, entitled The Secret to a Cohesive Pathways Journey.
Thank you very much, fellow Toastmasters. I am so delighted to have you here with us today. And as Dave mentioned, we are ready to get you started on what it is, the secret of cohesive pathways journey for all of us. I'm pretty sure that you are ready to learn and you will not be disappointed. So here we go. Let's get started. A few words about me. Thank you, Dave, for the introduction. I may add, animals definitely take a really special place in my heart, as well as nature. And this picture here, just taken a month ago, just depicts exactly that. I am surrounded by flowers, which I love, and this is my dog, Spiky. And what really drew me to Pathways? Why am I inspired by Pathways? As Dave mentioned, I do work in technology and work with engineers every day. Communication is absolutely crucial. And Pathways was for me a way to get me started on how do I improve my communication? Where do I go first? Do I go with motivational? Do I go with communication that influences others? Where exactly do I go? Do I go with communication that will inspire those around me? Do I focus more on my leadership skills? Pathways has it all. And it is all structured. It gives me an organized way to go about it. And I just love it because it brings simplicity to something that otherwise will feel to me monumental. Communication is crucial, but it's also so diverse. And that is what inspires me about Pathways. It gives me that guide and that structure that I need in order to move forward one step at a time. All right, let's get started. As Dave mentioned earlier, it is going to be an interactive session. Please take note of any questions that you may have. We'll have the Q&A session at the end. We're going to cover 6 main areas. First, I'm going to walk you through information that will be beneficial for beginners level. It might be some of us, it might be all of us, it might be, who knows. We'll be covering the beginners level, get us started there. Then, if you already know a little bit about Pathways, you may be interested in the resources that are also available for those of us who have enough knowledge about Pathways already to be a little bit dangerous. Then, we're going to move on to the advanced level. You think you know it all? Maybe not. Maybe there's something more for you to discover tonight. We'll bring you that information later. I'm gonna cover bonus material too, because I also have the experience of my own that I can share with you in case that you would like to hear what has worked for me so far. And as promised, we will have the Q&A session, and then we will conclude the session, and that will cover everything that we have for you today. Perfect. As you can see at the bottom of the screen, Pathways Learning Center is a link that we're going to go over today. So let's get it started, shall we? What are we going to see with the beginners level? Do not fret. Do not worry. This is simple. This is where we start a little bit at a time to make a big project a lot more manageable. We're going to cover piece by piece. First thing, what is the District 7 Pathways Learning Center, you wonder? This link that I'm sharing with you at the bottom of the screen, what is it? I'm going to give you a little tour about it so you know what I'm talking about. Then we're going to open the file called Toastmasters Level 1. What is this? You will be amazed. It is actually in one single document, everything you need to know from start to finish for a new member. So if any of you is new to Pathways altogether, This is the document to start with. After that, we will move on to the Navigator. This is also another file in PDF format that will walk you through information that will give you more of like an orientation, like an overview of what Toastmasters meetings are about, what the roles are, and so on. After that, I'm going to share with you a 2-minute video, which shows you one of the pivotal pieces of things that you need to know in order to continue with your pathways one level at a time. You need to complete the project, and this will show you how. And then after that, we will conclude the beginners session with the practice sample as icebreaker project. As you all know, the first speech that you will do in any of the pathways is going to be the icebreaker. And being the first one, we probably want to practice. And this will give you an idea of what needs to happen for that practice. All right, is everybody ready to go on? Perfect. I am going to share with you the Pathways Learning Center. Everybody's able to see the screen? Excellent. All right. When you visit the District 7 Toastmaster.org website and you go at the top of the screen to Pathways, this is what you're going to see as the option in the drop-down menu, Pathways Learning Center. And then this screen comes up. What will you see in this screen? This is the tour that I'm going to give you to get you acquainted and oriented here. The first part, you are going to see the beginning Pathways resources. And this is where you will go to view the information that we're going to discuss today. Here's the Navigator, here's the icebreaker, here's the Toastmasters Level 1, start to finish, as well as having the video for how to complete your icebreaker project. And if you toggle in here, you can also see the other video that we're going to review, which is completing a project. And we have 2 videos. You can see a longer version of this that was prepared by Dave. And you can also see a shorter version, which is the 2-minute one that we will review as well. Perfect. That is the beginner's level part of the website. Now, if we scroll down, we are going to see the intermediate pathways resources. And you will see we have the essentials for the tutorials, the printing a project video, completing a level video, and the evaluation forms, which is another video prepared by Dave as well. But not only that, if you continue to scroll down, you're also going to find information about the basics for the Basecamp Manager, basic level video. And this is called the Basecamp Manager's VPE, President and Secretary. And here are the videos as well. Now, the third part of the website also has the intermediate and advanced level tools and reference materials. Here, if you already have a good handle of all the basics, this is the place that you would like to visit, because here you will have a lot more information for other projects that as you grow in your pathways, this will become quite helpful. We are going to cover in here the Pathways Paths and Projects Catalog version 5, which is a brand new document. And you will be amazed of what is in here. And we are also going to cover another document that is in here, Toastmasters member and VPE Pathways Speech Tracking Log. Yes, I will walk you through this as we get into the section for advanced. And then you can scroll down more and you will find all of the videos that pertain to the mentor program is part of what you will find in the advanced resources. You will have the overview and you will have lots of more information, all of this prepared by Dave to make our Pathways learning experience a lot easier, easy to follow, and simple, because we like simple. None of this today is complicated. All of this is little bits of information that will help us one step at a time so that we do not feel like, oh, this is a lot. No, it's very little, one step at a time. And that's what we like about Pathways. All right, that is the overview of the website. I invite you all to browse through it after this training so that you can get familiarized with all of the resources that you have available at your fingertips. Perfect. So the next thing that we're going to do, as I mentioned earlier, we're going to open the document, and all you need to do is click here and let me know if it's shown in the screen or not. Perfect. All right. What is so special about this document, you wonder? Well, I've seen many documents before. What is different here? Okay, one thing I want to mention is you have a table of contents that will help you since the moment that you sign up for Toastmasters and you got an email in your inbox and says, all right, time to go and create your account. And you are thinking, what do I do? What do I do? Where and how? And can somebody help me? All right, this is a document that will help you. It will have the screenshots of everything. So you have a link in every single one of the items in your table of contents, and it will take you there. Here is the example of what this email is going to look like and where you need to go in the website to sign in, to create your account when you first log in. As you can see, is step by step. And everything has a screenshot that shows you exactly what field needs to be filled out and what happens next. After you submit and moving on, what are you going to see in the screen in the website? How do you log in later? All of this information is here. And as I mentioned, all of this is just a click away. For example, if I want to go and take a look at the basic definitions, which is on page 28, I don't need to go and scroll down to page 28. I click on the link and here it is. That's simple. It just makes our life a little easier. And that is the document that is called the Toastmasters Level 1. Perfect. So once we are done with this document, we are going to go to the Navigator. This one is also a PDF file. You click here. Logging in, 3, 2, 1, here it is. All right, you have options. You can select your own language if English is not your native language. I will select English just for the sake of continuing in a language that we all speak in common. All right, this is a Navigator document. All right, what do we want to learn about this document? As I mentioned earlier, this will tell you the basic information to have an overview of what a Toastmaster meeting is about. What are the roles? Who is who? How do you schedule a speech? How to log into the Toastmaster website. It's also there with not so many instructions. But it is there as well. What to expect before the meeting, during the meeting, after the meeting. All of this information is here. And then as you grow into your pathways, it also has information on how to expand your horizons and go into speech contests, which are fun. I have been there myself. Be a mentor because you have already acquired knowledge and it is time to share that with others. How to serve your club, have an officer role, how to serve the district. The possibilities are endless, and all of this information to have the basics is here in the Navigator. All right, and then we're moving on to, as I promised earlier, there is also a video here that is very, very simple. And just to show you how simple it is to just go over the material that is in here, I am going to share it with you for just a couple of minutes.
Hi, I'm Melissa. If you've already started working in your path, you may have noticed that Basecamp tracks your progress. But how does Basecamp know when you've completed a project? Let's take a look. You may recall that at the beginning of your project, you completed the Assess Your Skills Before activity. Once you've read through your project, finished the assignment, and given your speech, there is one last thing to do, the Assess Your Skills After activity. This is included at the end of your project, right after the Your Evaluation page. If the statements here look familiar, that's because they're the same ones you responded to in the Before assessment. You're going to rate yourself from 1 to 5 on these same statements now that you've completed the learning in the project. After rating yourself on each statement, make sure you select the Next button at the bottom of the page. If you select the arrow at the right of the page, you'll be leaving the After assessment before it's complete. Once you've selected a rating for each statement, click Submit. Basecamp will save your scores and show you a side-by-side comparison with your Before scores. When you close the project, give Basecamp a minute to refresh. As soon as it does, your project will be marked complete, and the completion percentage in your level will increase. Now you're ready to get started on your next project.
Excellent. All right. And that concludes that part of the video here. And as you can see, there are other videos that you can review. The last part of the beginner section that I wanted to share with you is the Practice Sample Icebreaker project. All you need to do is click on here, and it will guide you through what are the actions that you need to take in order to prepare. As I said, it's the first speech, and you need a little extra help. This will give you that extra help that you need. All right, and that is the part of the beginners section. What are we going to see next? Well, let's see. What are we doing with the second part of intermediate? This is the part where you may already know enough to be dangerous, but do you know it all? We'll see. We also have another video that is complete a level video. We are going to review the intermediate and advanced resources that I mentioned earlier, and we're going to focus on the catalog version 5, which I'm going to show to you, and why that is important, because it contains all the projects in all paths for all levels in one page. You don't have to go dig all this information around. And all of the links are clickable as well. All right, so with that, let's move on and take a peek at how that looks like, because I am sure that you are all waiting to see. All right, here are the intermediate pathway resources. As I said, you can toggle through the different parts to view what videos are available. So once you click on it, then this will come up and then you can play just like I played earlier. Here's the completing the level again. Once you click on the small box, this will become available for you to click and play. And there's even this other one as well, which is the evaluation forms. There's plenty for you to review. And under the resources, I was going to show you the catalog, right? So here we go. How does the catalog look like? I think it is an amazing tool for all of us who would like to just take a look at how that looks like in one single go. This is it. For example, I want to practice humor. Ta-da! You've got level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, level 5, plus all the electives, 1 page. 1 page. Do you know how much time you're saving by not going and reviewing all the screens that are there to see what's going on with that entire pathway? You don't have to do that anymore because all is in here. And every single one of them is clickable. So for example, I want to take a peek at level 4 building skills, the power of humor in an impromptu speech. I click on it and here it is. You've got the entire project description right there for you. All right, now that we have reviewed this one, let's take a look at the next part of our presentation. And we're going to go back to our slide. And what are we seeing next? We are going to see the advanced level. Now that you think you have all the information you need, there is still more at your fingertips that will make your life a lot easier. And we're going to go back to the resources for intermediate and advanced level. And there we're going to review the Toastmaster member and VPE Pathways Speech Tracking Log. All right, so let's open that up and take a peek at how that one looks like. When you go back to the intermediate resources where we were earlier, and we open the catalog version 5, in that same section, scrolling down, you're going to take a peek at this one, Toastmasters member and VPE Pathways Speech Tracking Log. When you click on download, it would open up an Excel file. And I'm going to share that with you as I have it open already. And it looks like this. You have the speeches because you want to get yourself organized. There's plenty of speeches you're going to provide during your pathways from level 1 all the way to level 5. And you want to know when, what is that particular speech called, what pathway level is it associated to, and all of this information you can enter in here. Free text, of course, for the date. But once you get into these sections, there are drop-down menus where you can actually just go and select. You don't even have to type it, just select. This tool is magnificent. It will just make your life so much easier because you don't have to write this down in a notebook. It is all right here and it's so much easier to locate. And if you are the VPE, as some of you were mentioning earlier, this is also something that will be extremely crucial for you to utilize because it will help you organize the speeches for all of your club members. And then as you know what they're doing and where they are, you can help them move to the next level. And this will be 1 line per member, and you can track their speeches from level 1 all the way until the end, including the awards and including the path when it is completed. All you need to do is mark, did they do speech, first speech on level 2? X. And then on the next one, X. And that's it. That's simple. That is a magnificent tool and hope that you can all take advantage of that. All right. And moving on, we're going to the bonus material. As I mentioned earlier, I wanted to share with you also what is the personal experience that I bring to the table here. Dave mentioned at the beginning in the introduction that yes, I am the president for Waffle Toasters. And it is a club very near and dear to my heart because I started Toastmasters with that club and I am there and love the leadership, love influencing others. And for that reason, every time we have a new member sign up, one of the things that we as a club officers team, we decided to do is let's help this new person navigate through Pathways, navigate through the first speech, and provide all of these resources in order to feel, okay, I got this. I know what to expect. I know what is my very first action, and boost their confidence in order to remove the blocker, which is fear. Once we got that out of the way, there is a strong motivation to move forward. And that's what we want. We want to make it simple. We want to motivate our team members, and we want to provide the information that is necessary in order to take that step. And that is one of the things that I have enjoyed the most in Waffle Toasters. As a result, I am in fact planning on joining the Pathways Mentor Program to make it official. And that is going to be in the near future. And the last piece of information that I wanted to share from my personal experience is onboarding process for new members. One of the things that we notice as we started as a club is there is a link for this, there is a link for that, there is information here. How about we have a one-on-one, and sometimes not one-on-one, but sometimes a group session, depending on how many members sign up each month. We schedule a monthly onboarding session, and we invite all the new members to join. All the new members who have signed up within the last month that have not taken this before, right? It's a one-time onboarding session. And in that session, we talk with them and we log into the site, the Toastmasters.org site. We also log into our own club's website, and we click on each of the links and we show them this is where to go, this is what to find, this is where you find this information. We walk them through this. We also serve as a human navigator, so to speak, because we also give them a little bit of an overview of what to expect in the meeting, what to expect from the icebreaker speech, what the roles are about, and what opportunities are out there in front of them to pursue as they continue their growth in Pathways. We also set expectations in this onboarding process, and we say, we would love for you to sign up for a speech, at least one speech per month. That way you are continuously growing. In those weeks when you are not delivering a speech, we would love to have you sign up for any of the roles as a grammarian or timer or evaluator, so you have the opportunity to practice and not be there just to listen, which is very important, but also to practice. The more practice you get, the better you get at public speaking. So we set that expectation as well. And from that onboarding process on, we decide, or they decide, if they would like to have a mentor that will be with them, walking them every step of the way after that. And that is what has helped our club retain the members that we have and also grow the members that we have, because word of mouth, it is shared with others, their friends, and they bring a friend. And now we have couples who sign up. First, the husband signs up, and then he likes it so much, he brings his wife, or vice versa. And that is how we continue growing as a club. And it's absolutely wonderful. All right. Then the next part of the session is Q&A, which I am a little early for Q&A, but that is okay, because if we have questions from all of you, we can go back and take a deeper dive in any of the topics that I have just covered today. And with that, I would like to open it up for your questions, and you can unmute yourself or you can post it in the chat. Dave is going to help me answer any questions that I may not have the answer for, because as you notice, he has been a very prolific author for a lot of the videos and material that is in this website. this wonderful Pathways Learning Center website that we are benefiting from today. And for that reason, it will be the both of us helping you out with any of the questions. And with that, we are ready to start.
Pat, I'm sorry. Yes.
I'm VP of Education for our group. So I've kind of taken on the responsibility when we get a new member to get them up to speed, get them logged on to Pathways, choose a path into that. And I don't, you know, it seems like and I've been around even since the old written manuals where someone would join, you'd give them the manual, they'd kind of leaf through, and then they'd pick a speech and go with it. It just seems like the process takes so long, just training them, getting them logged in and showing them where to go and getting them signed up and getting them through that first speech and on to the next speech. And then they finish that speech and they're like, how do I get back to where I was and get on to the next one? And even some of our older members, they're just like, you know, they're not even giving speeches anymore because it's too complicated, just the technical part. Have you experienced that with other groups? And do you know if there's any plans through Toastmasters to kind of simplify that process? And I know even that sheet you shared with us, you know, what to do for a new member. I looked at that before my training with the new members this week. You know, I thought, oh, I'll take a look at that and I'll kind of walk them through. And, you know, I opened it up and it's like, oh, 28 pages long, you know, how to get a member through, you know, onto the system, you know, 28 pages. Is there any way to kind of simplify that process? Because it just seems like everyone's running into a roadblock. Every time we have a new member, it just takes so long to get them up and running and continuing on.
Yes, that's the reason the onboarding session that we have, which is a live session in Zoom, and we are the ones that log into the site. It goes much faster than sharing screenshot by screenshot by screenshot, which is very helpful because if someone cannot make the call and they want to have step by step, then that will be the way to go. But I think the human connection is important. And if we log in and we show how simple it is to log in, then they will go and log in at the same time and see, oh, yes, I'm following you. I see where you are. Okay, let me click there too. Oh, you're doing that. Okay, perfect. I'm going to click there too at the same time. And so we are doing it together. And that session is only 1 hour. But after that, they feel comfortable. They are not feeling that newness is intimidating anymore because they have already done it with someone and they feel safe that, oh yes, I know what I'm doing now. That's how I personally in Waffle Toasters have tackled the complexity of how much information and how detailed of an information am I supposed to share with the members so that I don't get them lost in data, and at the same time I don't give them too little and then they don't know what to do. It's a balance, right? So that is where the human connection helps, because as we go together, then we can adjust and explain a little bit more, maybe explain a little bit less, depending on where the person is. That's how I would recommend is more of because we all get so many emails and we are all referred to places, right? If we can have someone at least the first time walk us through it so we can do it together, it just eliminates that factor of I don't know what to do, or maybe I'm too nervous to try on my own. Does that help, Pat?
Yes.
Excellent.
It's a
Thank
wonderful
you.
role. Thank you.
Would you like to take another question, Stephanie?
No, I was just going to say, Pat, it's a wonderful role to be VP of Education because you have the opportunity to influence others. And I'm glad that you're here to listen to this information. Hopefully it will be come in handy when you are working with them.
Okay.
All right.
Excellent. We have a question in the chat from Dennis. He says, how can other club officers help with Pathways? For example, only the president, VPE, and secretary are base camp managers. How can the other club officers help?
That is an excellent question, Dennis. Everybody helps because it is a team effort. There is not one single person working on only one thing, and we can actually divide and conquer. I would say, just like, for example, we had the elections happening just recently. As the president, we can post the ballot and we can work with our votes and everything. I can also delegate to the secretary and have the secretary help me out, because perhaps at the moment I am helping our VP of public relations set up an open house. It's all team effort. We are all working together in unison, and every single role that we have is flexible to assist and help out the others. I don't see anyone just owning just one small place in the bigger picture. I think we all work in tandem with each other. As for the base camps, yes, I believe that the site is set up in a specific way that we have 3 of the roles available to see the base camp. But that doesn't mean that just logging in is the work of one person, because logging in, you get the data, but anyone can share the data with the club. Anybody can track the data once it's been seen by the Basecamp manager. So how can you help? You can say, all right, Basecamp manager, share the information with me and I'll take it from here. And you can do anything like this with any of the other roles. And I started with Toastmasters with the Sergeant of Arms, and that I think is one of the most flexible roles there is, because you basically can do anything. You can do absolutely anything. You can cover for the president. You can assist any of the other roles in membership, in education. You can do it all. And that, I think, is a really good first role to have, where you can get your feet in the water to assist with everything. And then you can decide which one you like, and then you can specialize, so to speak. But I believe all the roles can assist each other. I hope that answers the question, Dennis.
Not quite. Actually, what I was implying is that what we can do is, if we're trying to show someone how to get through Pathways, it's probably best to have them share their screen and we can walk them through their own path rather than trying to do it remotely. But on just a generic one, we need to help them on their specific path.
Yes, and that is helpful. If someone needs help, it would be best if you can log in with the person and do it together. Yes.
Excellent. I don't see any other questions at the moment, and if not, I have a question for Stephanie, but I want to see if anybody else has one first. Leo, I see your hand coming up. Please, Leo, love to hear from you.
I have a problem when it comes to completing part of my pathways of getting the knowledge is being completed. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I think you may have enlightened me by part of your process that maybe I'm not clicking somewhere in that
Completing the project.
Okay, so that might be where I'm missing it, but it doesn't seem to get completed. And then the last step, and need to refresh my memory on this, needs to be completed by the educational vice president to say, yes, I've completed this.
That is correct. Yes. And you, as a member of the club, you can ask who your VP of education is, in case that is not known. And you can reach out to the person directly and say, I have completed the project. I have completed my level, for example. Can you please confirm that you have approved in Pathways? That will be the Basecamp manager. That will be the person logging into the Pathways for you to check that, yes, that has been approved and you're done. And then you can move on to the next one. So if you do not know who your VPE is, do ask, and that should be known to you so you can reach out to the person directly. That would be my suggestion. Also, if you go to the Pathways Learning Center and review the video for completing a project and completing a level, I shared with you is only 2 minutes, and there is also the other video, which is a little bit more detailed, 10 minutes. It's not a lot of time. It just walks you through what the screens are that you need to click on to make sure it's done. And then you can reach out to the VPE, and then that's the final step. But you have to complete first before the VPE approves.
Okay, thank you. That really helps me quite a bit, what you described. I'm just missing one step myself.
Okay, and then now you know where it is. All you need to do is go to the district website, Pathways Learning Center, and you have the beginner section, intermediate section, and then the rest of the intermediate and advanced section. You will find that in the beginning.
These are all the things that Dave has put together, I believe. Yes, excellent work Dave has done. I've gone into there.
Yes, yes. And all of these also, if you subscribe to the YouTube channel, you can also see the videos in YouTube because they are also public there, published publicly in there.
Okay, thank you, Leo. Who else has a question? If not, I'm chomping at the bit to ask you a question as well, Stephanie.
Absolutely, Dave. Shoot.
Okay, great. And I hope somebody's quickly behind my heels on this. My question is, when you onboard, or some people call it new member orientation, however you like to define it, do you have a recommended order of roles that that person starts to fulfill? Like, what's the first role that they would fulfill? Then what are they ready for the next one,
Absolutely, yes. That is one of our goals. When a person first starts, they are not aware of what is achievable as a new member. And we break it down in smaller chunks of work in order to make it more manageable, more digestible, and easier. For that reason, yes, we do have recommendations. We would say, all right, if you sign up today to be in our club, I would not encourage you to go ahead and do the general evaluator role just yet, because it will be absolutely wonderful if you can hear the general evaluator perform the role multiple times before you try to do it yourself. For that reason, the first roles that we do recommend will be something such as the grammarian, which you will be on point for sharing the word of the day and helping others with their ums and ahs and so's. That will be a more achievable goal for a new member within the first month of joining the club. If you're on the second month, yes, absolutely, please sign up for a speech. That will be the next role to go for. Deliver a prepared speech. That icebreaker needs to come soon so we get to know you better and know who you are. And then that builds the confidence, because once you get that out of the way, quote unquote, because it's not something to get out of the way, but it's something to accomplish. But when someone is new, that's how they feel, is like, oh, this trepidation and this palpitation, right? When they get that fear conquered, then they can move on and do other roles, such as evaluating another speaker, go for another speech, for example. And then once they are 3 months, 4 months into the club, then they can go on for the general evaluator, and then later for the Toastmaster role. That means they had several weeks of listening to others deliver the role before they can go and get themselves immersed in that one, because Toastmaster is going to be leading half of the meeting. The general evaluator will be leading the other half of the meeting, and you need to acquire some experience before you get there. So yes, that's an excellent question. Thank you, Dave.
Thank you very much. I don't see any other questions. Any other questions? There's probably one more we could put in the pipeline, but I'd much rather hear from you. Stephanie, I want to ask, if I could, another question related to something that I think you particularly bring to the table in Toastmasters, if I could.
Absolutely.
Oh, great. I will say this. I know something about Waffle Toasters. That was the club I had a chance to be a club mentor in, and I just love that club, and you guys are all awesome. And I will say this, you are a member magnet. Every time I look around the corner, you're getting President's Distinguished, you're meeting member goals. Things that I've observed. One, you guys are super friendly, 2, you're super positive, and 3, you're talented and lead by example. I'm wondering, are one of those the top priority? Are they all 3 a priority, or what am I missing? How do you become a member magnet in that way?
Well, first of all, blush. Second of all, let me get my thoughts together about that. Thank you so much. That's a big compliment. I believe authenticity is number one. We are not here to pretend that we know it all, and we are not here to pretend that we are what we are not. We are ourselves. And yes, leading by example is important because we want everybody to show up just like they are. There is absolutely nothing wrong with being ourselves. And that takes a lot of pressure off of people, because there is not like this huge expectation that needs to be met. All you need to do is just come. That's all. Just come as you are. And we will have fun. Once you are in the club with us as a guest or already as a member, the moment that you sign into Zoom and we're all in the screen together, we are just having fun. And when we are all having fun and the pressure is off, that's when magic happens, and we max out everyone's potential. Because instead of thinking, oh, what am I doing wrong, and am I doing this right, or am I meeting the expectations, or what are they going to think about me? None of that. Once that is completely out of the equation, people just are themselves and deliver the speeches in the best possible way. And I think that's what is probably the magnet, is having that sense of safety combined with fun equals maximum potential. I think that's what it is. The magic formula.
I'm glad this is being recorded because I'm going to review that, memorize that, and try and live it. Thank you. Stephanie, at this point, I don't see any other questions. Should we proceed forward?
Absolutely. All right, let me go back to where we were and continue with our last section of our presentation for today. If you have not yet select a path, what I would challenge you all is to get started. There is no more time here to be wasted. Let's get to it. Now you know what to do, how to get there, and you know how exciting it is. Let's make it happen. If you do not know where to start, as I mentioned earlier, there is one of the biggest beauties about Pathways is that you have options. There is such a diversity of aspects that you can master. If you do not know which one is calling to you yet, not a problem. You can start with the presentation mastery. Why? Because it's the one that gives you the most flexibility for projects, the least level of difficulty. We all like simple, right? The shortest term projects, and it's focused on public speaking, not on leadership. So if leadership is not yet what you want to go after, I would recommend go with presentation mastery as your first pathway. And here's the link one more time, Pathways Learning Center. At the bottom of the screen, you will have a copy of this presentation. I would like for you all to go pay a visit to this website and check out all the plethora of information that is there for you, because it will be very helpful for all the officers' roles that you may have at this point. Not only the education, membership, sergeant of arms, all the roles. And if you do that within 24 hours, you get extra points, just saying. And then for tomorrow, because the District 7 has an amazing program for all of us today and tomorrow. So please do not miss. Dave will be having a follow-up on this, which will be the presentation that starts at 10:15. If you have not signed up, it is called Growing Members One at a Time, which is also in the Pathways Learning Center at the very top of the screen, because we want everyone to be part of it. one at a time. And that, dear friends, concludes the training for today. I hope you all have enjoyed your hour with us today. And thank you for your patience listening to me for the last almost hour. So I am very, very thankful for your attention and participation and your questions. Thank you.
My goodness, let's give a big hand for Stephanie. Stephanie, would you discontinue the screen share if you don't mind?
I am stopping screen share right now.
Absolutely incredible. Thank you so much. Tamsin has been doing an excellent job, as well as Zoom Master. She's been putting links, including the links for the slide deck, as well as other information that is needed. And Tamsin, if you wouldn't mind, would you please put in the chat the link to the final closing remarks by the trio in room A, which does start at 8:30, which is about 6 minutes from now. And then finally, I just want to offer my appreciation as well to the audience. You've just been a fabulous audience. I love your enthusiasm. This makes me so happy to see this. And I feel like we really supported each other. Stephanie guided us so well. I think it was just a wonderful presentation. We will be following up with a link to this recording. I'll be editing it myself, and another opportunity to get the slide deck. And then finally, you will be receiving a survey from the TLI committee to just let us know how we did, if there was something that you liked about this, or if there are opportunities for us to improve even further. At this point, do I have any other questions from anybody, just generally about what was said today? Hearing no objections at this time, we adjourn and close the meeting. Big hand one more time.